Hello everybody, and welcome to this video. Today we're going to be looking at my first project that I made. It was made in my C++2 class in the spring of 22. So over 3 years ago I made this, and that class was pretty much a data structures class, and at the end of it we learned a little bit about like GUI stuff in C++ using wxWidgets. As you can see, I made an alarm clock. Pretty basic, and it looks a little basic too, but you know, you gotta start somewhere. So let's show off the alarm clock. So we bring it up and we can set our alarm. As you can see, it alarms. You can also snooze for 30 seconds. Oh look, there it goes. And then our snooze goes off. So that's pretty much all it does. A pretty good alarm clock, if I do say so myself. But today, I wanted to look a little bit more into the source code, maybe see some possible places that it could be improved, or look at places that you're kind of just wondering what was going on there. So we'll get into the source code. So we're going down, and the first thing you might notice is we have all these enums, and they're all defined separately, which is kind of interesting. You know, you don't actually have to do that. So if we go over here, I've set up this little example where we have the side-by-side. We have the program's enums and then just this block of enums. We'll test out these ID times. So if we run this program, it will output 3 because that is the ID of ID time. So let's give it a whirl. Oh wow, that's fantastic. That's exactly what we wanted. So, firstly, I changed this enum block just to be one enum that contains 8 different IDs. So going back, it's also interesting because we have this bind right here. And I'm assuming that this is what the enums were supposed to be for, because we have this on-time event, and the ID of 3 refers to the ID for time. So I think it's just kind of funny. I made all these enums, but then it ended up not actually using them. And just under this spine stuff, we have in the constructor for the myFrame all these news. So we're allocating memory here to all these different boxes, fonts, static box, lots of boxes. But the thing is that is funny about that is I don't have a destructor, so that might cause some possible memory issues later on. But that's okay. That's the biggest thing I would say about this program that's incorrect. You know, I think having a destructor to delete all these different boxes would be the next big feature. So, we go down here a little bit. We have a misspelling. That's unfortunate. It should be B instead of me, but that's forgivable. That's okay. And under that, we have a function. You have an ASCII to int function. So, if your character is the character 1, you return the integer 1. And then if the character is a 2, you return the integer 0. And this can be simplified just by using the way that ASCII characters are made. Each ASCII character has their associated integer value, and all the ASCII numbers are in a row. So if you know the offset, you're able to just easily return the number without having to check to make sure this is an ASCII 1, return a 1. And that's something I just very easily implemented over here too. we go over to this other function, we're just using a character, we're calling it 6. And that offsets 48. So the character of 6 would have a value of 56. So we subtract that to 48, and we get the numerical value of 6. And that can be done with, like, the character 1. The character 1 would have the value of 49. So we subtract that from 48, and you'd get 1. So let's have it run just to show you I'm not talking crazy. There you go. There is a funny comment over here. We have two funny things. The one funny thing is I'm guessing this is trying to be funny because I have my 699 value. But the only thing that makes me think that it might not trying to be funny, because the comment says some numbers work and others don't want to. So did 700 not want to work? And I was just like, let's try 699. I don't know. One last bit that I'm going to look at today is this big kind of block of ifs and elses. And I think we're just going to try and refactor that in real time using continues if the statement is met so that we don't break into any other conditions. So let's do that real quick. It's a lot easier time to understand this new pieces of code than the old one. It is not so branchy, and overall, it reduces the complexity of this code. So that's all that I have to show you for my first project. And just some final thoughts. It's super fun to kind of look back and see where you've come. Like, having done this 3 years ago, I've learned so much since then. And it's also funny to think, in a way, that, like, all the stuff that I kind of went through today, if you're just the user of this alarm clock, you would have no idea that there's a whole bunch of enums that are separately defined. Like, that, as a user, you don't care about that. So, the moral of the story, go make things despite your skill level, because that stuff will come with time.